Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Afi and I'm back again with another video. This video is going to be a June recap. If you haven't watched all my other monthly recaps, I'm going to leave it up here and you can check that out. But this is a June recap. Just in case you don't know, I started the month off by sort of like announcing that I'm doing a restart challenge, which was basically me trying to restart my year, trying to build good habits for the rest of the year. And for all those details, honestly, just check up here. Check up here. I'm going to leave that video here and you can check that out. If you want to implement that for July, please do so. This challenge has really taught me so much, and it's taught me so much more than I thought I would be learning. Honestly, it's been so good for me, and that's like overall, not just in like building good habits. It's been good to learn myself and to understand the kind of things that I want and the things that I don't want to do. And I'm excited to get to July and just like figure out how to implement all these things into my real life. And yeah, it's just been nice. So anyway, stay tuned for all of that information. This is going to be like a week by week kind of review recap type thing, and it's not going to be very long. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about how week one was. This was like the first week. Bomb, honestly. I sort of started this challenge on 30th May, but then I officially was like, okay, fine, 30-day challenge on 1st June. So the first week started on Monday, so I'm basically just starting my weeks on Monday, just it's easier. But yeah, so the first week was rough because I was coming from waking up at like 8 o'clock to sort of like waking up at 5. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna wake up at 7 a.m. first week and then 6 a.m. second week and then 5 a.m. by the third week. I basically was like, I'm aiming for 5 a.m. and that's where it's at. So it was a little bit rough. Maybe I would say take it slow if that's what you want to do, but I guess everyone is different. For me, I liked going straight. I was like, I'm not about to be gentle on myself because I really was being way too gentle on myself the past few months. So yeah, I managed to work my way up. So I started at like 7:30, then 6:30, then I went to 5. Also, I have like reels about it, so if you just want to check it out, just do, because I post every single day, and then at the end of the week or like at the beginning of the other week, I do like a reel, so you can just get like a flashback of everything. So check that out as well. So I worked out 3 times a week, which is great. I was using this challenge, 7-day challenge, which literally just finished like today, which is the 3rd week. And it's because I'm doing 3 times a week, right? So anyway, I went for daily walks every single day, like clockwork. I loved it. Personal devotion, very good at it. Journaling 2 times a day, I was bomb. The first week you have energy, you're like, yes, I'm going to do this. But something that I noticed was I had good days and bad days. So there were some days that were actually much harder than others, especially getting to like Wednesday. When I got to Wednesday, I was exhausted because I'd done Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, I was tired. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not it for me. And then I think Thursday was okay. And then Friday, I was knocked out, couldn't do anything. And then Saturday as well, a bit fuzzy. I was feeling like a little bit of like fuzz because I was going to bed at 11 and then waking up at 5 a.m. And that was like 6 hours of sleep, which is not a problem. Honestly, I sleep for 6 hours, so it's not a very big deal. But because I was waking up so early, it was something I was not used to. I think I'd been sleeping for like 8 hours before then, or 7, I don't know, I can't even remember. But whenever I would wake up, I would feel so tired and fuzzy and just like, ugh, I was tired. So I knew 6 hours was going to be good. So yeah, my energy levels were like in and out as well throughout the days. I would get to afternoon and just be a little bit more exhausted than like anything. I was so tired. Thursday and Friday, I was very exhausted, as I said. Saturday and Sunday, I took it very easy. I woke up at 6:30 and then I journaled like quite a bit. And I worked out a little bit as well. So that was really nice. So yeah, that was week 1. It wasn't too heavy. It was the first week, so I was a little bit more energized. I was like, yes, this is something we're doing. I'm excited. I was posting every day, so happy, and I loved it. So yeah, that was basically the something that I really noticed about week 2 was I was extremely exhausted. Like, I was so tired from the beginning. Honestly, like throughout the week, I was exhausted. I was tired of waking up. I couldn't do it anymore. And I think it's because I was putting so much pressure on myself that weekend. Because I was feeling like I was sort of like kicking myself for not making it through. But something that I did sort of like get to was I was gonna do this Monday to Friday, wake up at 5 a.m. Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday I would be a little bit more easier, but not because I want to oversleep or anything like that, but just because my schedule over the weekend usually is just a bit off. So I can't really wake up at 5 a.m. because sometimes I have to be up at like 3 a.m. to watch some event that's happening. And so I'm basically not sleeping enough. And it's just all up and down. So weekends, I like to give myself grace. But during the week, I like to sort of like get into it, you know. So yeah, as I said, week 2 I was exhausted. I was productive until Thursday. After Thursday, I was feeling like a little bit like tired. I actually woke up on Friday. I woke up at 8. I actually woke up at 8. I woke up at 5 o'clock, and then I couldn't do it, honestly. I woke up at 5. I woke up again at 5:20. Woke up again. I was just like, I can't do it. So I set an alarm for 8 o'clock because I had a meeting at 8:30. I just set an alarm for 8 o'clock. I said, let me just sleep myself until 8. Then after 8, I'm up. I don't want to, like, no line, blah, blah, blah. I'm up. So that's what I did. And I woke up at 8 and I was fine throughout that day. So that was okay. And then Saturday, I think I did wake up a little bit earlier as well. I woke up at like 7 again, or 6:30 or something like that. And then Sunday was a bit on and off because there was an event I was waking up for at 3 a.m. So then I slept in. I had a migraine from Saturday night. Like, it was just, it's everywhere. Honestly, weekends are just the worst, honestly. They're not the worst, they're just busier. So usually it's much more difficult to do this during the weekend, but during the week I'm good. So yeah. Okay, so something else that I wanted to say is I started drinking water first thing in the morning. I watched a video that was basically like, oh, you need to drink water when you wake up. No, she said it was a morning routine, and she was like, oh, I drink water when I wake up because when you sleep you get dehydrated. So drinking water the first thing sort of like hydrates your body. And I noticed that if I drink water immediately I wake up, or like a few minutes after, I feel so much better. So that's a habit that I actually started as well. And then something else I do is I make my bed immediately I wake up. So what happens the night before, I'll write like morning routine on a paper and be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do this like the next day. So I'll be like, wake up at 5 a.m. Like, get out of bed, drink water, make my bed, change into workout clothes, work out, brush my teeth, whatever, do whatever with my hair, blah blah blah, like do things like that. I write all of it down in detail, and I saw this tip on another video as well because I've really been watching a lot of like morning routines and stuff like that. So yeah, I saw this tip, like write down exactly what you're gonna do in detail. And I realized that on days that I don't write it, I'm sort of like a bit fuzzy. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like waking up, I want to, blah blah blah. But on days that I do, I'm much more like focused. So that's something that I'm excited to do, that I do now. Like, that's a new habit that I've started. Yeah, so that's something I started. Saturday and Sunday, as usual, taking it easy, and I'm just grateful for that. So now where I learned a lot is giving myself grace, just allowing myself to be imperfect, because sometimes I hold myself to such a high standard where it's like, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, and that's my intention, and that's how it's going to be forever. But just realizing that I'm a human being and my body really will communicate to me what I need to do. So basically, like, working my way back up has really helped me learn about that. Like, it's like grace and just like loving myself enough to be like, okay, don't push yourself way too hard, push yourself just enough to be disciplined, right? Something else I'm learning is just being patient with myself. Like, on days that I'm feeling extremely exhausted, I don't need to push myself, because then I'm going to just be tired the whole day. And what's the point of being tired and not productive? I think the point of this challenge is to be productive. So that actually means that sometimes you need to sleep in a little bit more, especially like on days that you need to sleep later. Like, I remember actually falling asleep at like midnight one day and then expecting myself to be up at 5 a.m. That, you know, it doesn't work like that. 5 hours of sleep is not good for anyone, and you'll be tired throughout the day, and it's not worth it. The next thing is loving myself. Like, learning to love myself so much. Honestly, I'm learning so much. Working out every single day is my form of loving myself. Not every single day, 3 times a week is my form of self-love. It's really made me think, wow, I could do a lot more than just like home workouts, which I'm really enjoying. So I think after a few months I may start running, or I will start like doing something like a sport like swimming or tennis or something like that, because those two I really like. You will not find me playing like soccer or like basketball, like that's a tall order. The next thing that I've really learned is about rest, like just the idea that sometimes you just need to rest. Like I was having a migraine some weekend, and I can't push myself and be like, I'm going to work out through the migraine or like through the headache or whatever. It's just important to allow yourself to rest enough for your body to just like rejuvenate, because I think sometimes our body does have that ability, like just rejuvenate and like become well enough for you to continue with your good habits. Also, I'm learning about consistency, and the idea of consistency has really changed to me, because I feel like consistency used to be like, oh, you have to do it every single day for me. But I think now I'm learning that consistency is the idea of showing up, like even if for like in another lifetime or before, I would have seen the way that I'm taking it easy on the weekend as like me breaking my cycle. But I'm seeing that it's not breaking my cycle, but I can actually just like pick it back up on Monday, and I'm not gonna die. Like I will be fine if I take the weekend off and then come back on Monday. Like that's okay, and my body is still going to be fine. Sometimes I actually try and work out like one day of the weekend, so either Saturday or Sunday. I'm really enjoying working out on Sunday evenings at like 6 p.m. ish. Yeah, it's really like it's actually becoming such a good routine. I think maybe I'm just gonna make that a thing and then work out every single day as well, like every other 3 days or whatever. But yeah, so consistency has really changed in my mind as well. I think I'm having to rewire a lot of things, like just having to really find them and understanding and loving myself a lot more. So I'm really excited about that. So week 3 was T for tough. That's actually what I wrote down. It was so tough. Honestly, I feel like the more I continued with it, the harder it got to actually like maintain the habits, which was not necessarily a bad thing. I just think I was starting to know what is comfortable for me and what's not comfortable for me. Waking up at 5 a.m. is an entire stretch, especially if you sleep at like 12. Like, hey, that is a fat stretch. So it was really hard. Some days were harder than others. I had very busy days as well in this 3rd week. I think I was wrapping up my internship at the time, and it was just like intense. It was very intense, and yeah, it was a lot. But I managed to actually like wake up at 5. I was really terrible at documenting it though. Like I feel like I really like documenting week 3 was so bad, but I have a reel on it, so just check it out. I'm also going to link it down below and you can check out exactly how week 3 went. But I was so bad at like posting on my stories and things like that. That's something that I wanted to intentionally do, but I went back to my roots. I've never been very good at social media, and now I am going back to being the woman that I was before. It's so difficult to post. I feel like I forget, like I just forget to post, and it's because I'm not on Instagram as much as, like, I don't know, I'm just not on Instagram that much, and especially when I'm busy, that's it. I'm not going to post, I'm not going to nothing. And then there's times when I'm just like, does anyone even care? And most times no one cares, so I have to remind myself that I'm doing this so that I can be able to look back next year at a time like this. I want to be able to see what I was doing and what my progress was. So reminding myself that has been really good. Also just getting into good habits. Honestly, it's so good. Maybe next year I'll have fallen off and I'll be like, do you remember what you were doing? Then it will jolt me back into reality. So that's what I'm hoping for. And then I also realized that on days that I wasn't working out, I was like a lot slower to wake up, because it was almost like, okay, I'm not working out today, so what's the point of getting out of bed? Or I'm just like, oh, I'm going to do a devotion and then I'll end up falling back asleep and stuff like that. So something that I actually did implement on the 4th week was I went for walks in the morning. Mind blowing to go for morning walks in the morning, actually. But yeah, so that's what I noticed. It was just like oh, I don't want to wake up, or I do and it's so cold, but I'm not going to work out, because I'm intentionally not working out every single day, just because I know if I do work out every day, I'm going to burn myself out and then I'm not going to work out again. So I'm really trying to ease myself into it, like intentionally easing myself into it, and then also making sure that I'm being like intentional with when I'm working out. So that's on days that I'm too busy, I'm like, okay, of course I can't do it, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. You know, like one of those things where I want to be intentional with it. So yeah, that's basically what happened. But it was a good week. The third week was good. I was just very busy, but it was the closest to actual real life, and I am getting back to real life in July. So it's one of those things where it's like that week sort of made me see how it would look like. Thank God there's not going to be pressure to document then, because the pressure of documenting is one of those things where it's like I forget and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad that I didn't post this and I didn't blah blah blah. But like the point is not to post, you know, like the point is to actually do it. So as long as you're doing it, I did daily walks. Those daily walks are really just like my holy grail. I love them. I love doing daily walks. Like I can't. And now that I'm doing walks in the morning as well, I do walks in the mornings that I'm not working out, and then every single day I'll do like a walk at night, which is great. There are some days that I'm not going to be able to do it, especially days when I'm like walking long distances to go somewhere, stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, like I'm not gonna die if I don't do it, but I really do try to do it every single day, which is really nice. Something else that I saw in a morning routine that I would really like to implement is coming up with a different routine for days that you have high energy, days that you have normal energy, and then days that you have really low energy. And the reason why you need to do this is because the days that you're not going to want to work out like intensely, but then you're going to still want to do something, right? So that's the point. It's like and then there's days when you're so busy, you have a lot of things happening, stuff is happening earlier and things like that. So on such days it's like you don't really have that much time, and then there's days that you have a lot of time where you can do devotion for 3 hours, you know. So that's also something that I really learned in this third week, which was exciting, and I'm excited to implement that into real life. So week 4, no actually, yeah, week 4 was the last week of this challenge, and when I tell you that I have learned so much, I can't even begin to quantify how much I've learned from doing this restart challenge. I think for me, it's been so much more than just waking up at 5 a.m., not going on my phone until after 7 a.m., going for daily walks, like journaling every single day, having devotion every single day, journaling twice actually, and then working out like 3 times a week. I have learned so much about myself, and I think that was the point. It was something that I didn't realize, but I think I was trying to figure out like who I was going into this next half of the year. And I'm going to do the July recap is going to be planning for the next half of the year and stuff like that, but I think that was the point, to sort of like to get to know myself and just know what I like and what I don't like. This year has been so weird. It's literally been the most up and down, and I cannot wait to actually take taking stock, to actually take stock. If you didn't watch my 2020 taking stock and you're confused about what I'm talking about, just check it out. Not because you care about what happened in 2020, but just that you understand what taking stock is. But I actually cannot wait to take stock for 2021. And I'm excited to live the next half of this year, honestly. Like, I'm so excited for it, and I feel happy and ready for that. So anyway, the 4th week was basically just about learning when I can and when I cannot wake up at 5 a.m. So it's mainly revolved around like counting the number of hours that are comfortable for me, like for sleeping, and then checking when I sleep, and then setting my alarm to wake up when I'm supposed to. But a lot of times I've actually found myself waking up before my alarm, because I'm sort of like, my body is conditioned to wake up at like within the hour of 5 a.m. So I always end up waking up at like 5:20, 5:40, like sometime between 5 and 6 I end up waking up, which I'm so happy about, because I think for me it's very important to wake up before 6 a.m. So basically just trying to wake up to have enough time to like pray, sit in my own silence, drink water, make my bed, maybe go for a morning walk. I did one morning walk actually in this 4th week, and it was very exciting to go in the morning. It's something that I actually think I'm going to do for the next for July. Like, I have so many habits that I have now sort of like I'm feeling like I want to take into the next month, because doing a challenge is so different from now translating it into normal, like real life. And I'm excited to try out all those things. I've also watched so many morning routines, evening routines, like all of that is really going to help me move on to like July. So stay tuned for the July recap. I think it's going to be really, really nice, because this time it's not a challenge, it's just now me getting back into real life. I'm going back to school. I have exams the next 2 weeks, but then I'm going back to school to actually study, guys. I'm going for my 4th year and I don't know if I'm ready. So stressful. But yeah, so it's been counting my hours, figuring out when to wake up. I try to go to bed at like 11 or within the hour of 11 to midnight. Like, I don't like being awake past midnight. That really just gives me stress. So most days I will go to sleep 11:15ish, like 11:15ish, which has been nice. Also, I mean, sometimes I get really busy. I have meetings at night, I have just stuff to do at night, so then I'm going to sleep a little bit later, but I try to genuinely sleep at like within the hour of 11. It really, really helps. This 4th week, wrapping up the challenge, has been so good. Honestly, like, I'm enjoying it, and this video is going to come out on the last day of June, so that's very, very exciting. And if you did this challenge with me, let me know in the comments. Text me if you have my number, send me a DM on Instagram, whatever you want to do. Just like let me know that you did it, and if you intend on like doing it for July, please just do it. I highly, highly encourage that you do some type of thing to get into like good habits. If you've been thinking, I want to do this, and you haven't been able to, like, challenge yourself, and 30 days of doing the exact same thing is literally like, it's mind-blowing. The other thing that I noticed is on the weekends, life is a bit more like dynamic for me, so I try not to be too strict on myself and be like, I must wake up at 5 a.m. or whatever. So most weekends I have slept, like, I have woken up later, but I do try to work out still one day in the weekend, which has been so nice. So working out, actually going back to working out, has been the highlight of my life, if I am being honest, and I'm just like really, really enjoying it. So anyway, this has been the June recap. This was a recap of the Restart Challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you managed to actually take part in the challenge. I can tell you for free, there's a lot of lessons you can learn about yourself, which is something that you don't think you will. And it's one of those things that's like, it's a good consequence, because then you actually truly get to know yourself, you get to know what you need to do. Something that actually working out has helped me do so much is eating, because I really was not eating well. And so working out, you have to eat because you get really hungry. So I've managed to eat really well, drink a lot of water. I've been very like in tune with my body, which is something that makes me so happy, because then I know when I'm tired, I know when I'm hungry, I know when I can wake up when I can wake up early, I know when I can wake up late. I've become a lot more organized as well. Like, it's been easier to be like, oh yeah, no, I have this free time, I have free time here and here and stuff like that. So I've been really grateful about that. I also finished the book that I started the month doing like a devotion of. It was called A Girl After God's Own Heart. It's like, I got that book when I was like 18, honestly, and for some reason I've never finished it. I finished it this time, which is really nice, and I started another one called A Young Woman's Guide to Prayer. I'm going to do sort of like a review of that book, but then I'm going to post that on my Instagram. That's not going to go on my YouTube, so check that out. I think it's a really, really good book. I really like, if you have a younger sister who's like a teenager or something, I genuinely recommend that you give them that book. It's nice. I mean, it can also, it's mixed feelings, but stay tuned for that review. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.